The girl never could have imagined that the boy who had admired her for years would suddenly come to understand the true meaning of love. After getting hit by a stray soccer ball, the world around him began to spin wildly. The girl he had once seen as a flawless goddess suddenly seemed completely ordinary. When everything returned to normal, the so-called goddess blamed the boy instead. She thought he got hit because he kept pestering her and told him to leave her alone for good. Now that he had come to his senses, Wataru realized Natsukawa was right. Back in the classroom, he started ignoring Natsukawa entirely. This sudden change in Wataru's attitude left the two girls totally confused. Just then, the teacher walked into the classroom. He was also surprised by Wataru's unusual behavior, for the boy had always been clinging to Natsukawa before. Natsukawa herself felt inexplicably irritated too. During lunch break, Wataru was eating outside. Unexpectedly, a girl came up to talk to him. He learned her name was Rina and asked what she wanted. Rina just gave him a playful smile and then walked away on her own. Wataru was left full of questions. Early the next morning, Rina came to the classroom to find him again. Wataru's friend jumped to conclusions at once and pressed him about his relationship with Rina. Wataru was just as confused, wondering what Rina was really up to. In the meantime, Wataru accidentally bumped into Natsukawa's best friend. Natsukawa stood right beside them and overheard their entire conversation. Before Wataru could explain himself, Natsukawa turned around and stormed off angrily. Thanks to this misunderstanding, Natsukawa would ignore Wataru every time they met. Wataru grew rather upset over the situation. Then Natsukawa's friend brought him some news. She said Rina once had a very loving boyfriend, though no one knew why they broke up. Wataru headed to Rina's ex-boyfriend's classroom. By chance, he heard the guy say his ideal type was Natsukawa. In that instant, Wataru figured out the whole story. He was about to go explain everything to Natsukawa when Rina showed up once more, wanting to have a talk with him. Natsukawa's friend could no longer hold back. She spoke ill of Rina's ex right to her face, which upset Rina and made her leave in a huff. Noticing Rina looked troubled, Wataru hurried after her. He caught up with her soon after and apologized on behalf of Natsukawa and her friend. Hearing this, Rina finally opened up and told him the whole story. It all started with what Wataru had overheard earlier. Her ex was dating her, yet still claimed Natsukawa was his ideal girl. Even though Rina knew he did not mean it seriously, she just could not get over it. She wanted her ex to feel the same hurt, and that was why she decided to approach Wataru. At last, every secret was laid bare. To comfort Rina, Wataru shared his own past experiences. Before he met Natsukawa, he had been rejected by another girl. What's more, her boyfriend had beaten him up. As he was pushed to the ground, he stumbled straight into Natsukawa's arms. She slapped him across the face back then, but Wataru fell head over heels for her at first sight. The easiest way to catch the sleepy princess turns out to be a bed. On this day, the princess rolled up her sleeves and tied up her hair. She fled from the demon lord's castle once again. She was determined to find something. This item could only be found in the human world. The demon lord was used to her runaway antics. He calmly sipped his tea as usual. He figured she would come back soon enough, so he did not worry about it at all. Just then, one of his subordinates rushed over to report. The princess had taken all the castle's food supplies with her this time. He looked at the fully equipped princess and tried to comfort himself. At least they still had their new stronghold, but his words had barely faded away. The princess blew the new fortress to ruins with explosives. The demon lord finally realized how serious the situation was. He could tell the princess was unusually fired up this time. Where on earth was she heading? Shortly after, a subordinate brought over a note found in the princess's room. It said she was heading for the human realm. Panic swept over the demon lord immediately. He ordered all his demon servants to set off at once. They had to bring the princess back no matter what. And so the chase began. The princess ran ahead. Her demon foster parents chased closely behind her. The toxic marsh lay right in front of them. Poseidon instantly teleported in front of her to stop her. Yet the princess simply leaped right over him. As she passed by, she even complimented his cool teleportation skill. Poseidon blushed out of embarrassment. He sat on the ground helplessly and banged his fists against it. The moment the venomous dragon chased after her, it got hit by the lids of the princess's potion bottles. He tumbled down to the ground in an instant. The demon lord was extremely worried about the princess's safety, but when he took a closer look, he saw her riding a self-made jet skiff. She sailed across the toxic marsh completely unharmed. None of the demons had expected this at all. Seeing this, the demon lord headed to the other side of the marsh himself. He planned to set up a clever trap, and the trap was nothing more than a cozy bed placed inside a large iron cage. All his servants thought this trick would never work, but the next second, the princess walked straight into the trap. The demons were left completely speechless. They brought her back to the demon castle and asked her what was going on. The demons finally figured out the truth. The princess had seen an electric pillow on a TV shopping show. Since deliveries did not reach the demon realm, she wanted to go to the human world to buy it herself. The demon lord let out a helpless sigh. The two realms were separated by a great distance. It was far too dangerous for her to travel alone. The princess then took the chance to make a request. She wanted the demons to go with her. The demon lord was stunned. Demons and humans had always been enemies. Their true identities would cause huge trouble if discovered. But the princess thought there was nothing to worry about. She believed all the demons were kind-hearted beings. Hearing her words, the demons grew shy. After a moment of hesitation, the demon lord made up his mind to take her to the human world the next day. That night, the demon foster parents stayed wide awake. They spent the whole night discussing how to disguise themselves. The next morning, everyone put on their favorite outfits, only to get slapped by the princess. She stuck notes on their backs saying they were practicing for Halloween. This trick kept them from being suspected by humans. Once they stepped onto the busy street, the foster parents huddled together cautiously. Meanwhile, the princess wandered around and enjoyed all kinds of snacks. She acted just like a little wealthy girl. A female female teacher had just gotten a love confession from one of her students moments ago. She unexpectedly transformed right on the spot the very next second. She sent a nearby Cayman rider flying with a fierce blow. The teacher's name was Yuriko. She had dreamed of becoming a superhero ever since she was a little kid. She ended up working as a schoolteacher down the line. Still, she stuck to daily workouts without fail. One evening out of the blue, Yuriko was about to head home after work. Her student blocked her path to confess his feelings for her. Before she could process what was happening, commotion from masked thugs robbing a nearby convenience store caught her ear. She spotted someone pretending to be a Cayman rider as well. Yuriko flew into a fit of rage right away. She morphed into Denpa Lady on the spot without hesitation. She rushed forward and knocked Tanzaburo flying. She made it clear she was the real superhero around here. The crooks standing nearby refused to buy her claim at all. They started jeering and mocking her openly. Things took an abrupt turn a split second later. All the masked robbers got sent flying in an instant. Bystanders caught the whole incident on their cell phones. Yuriko said goodbye to her student and darted off shortly afterward. Tanzaburo and the baffled gang members were left standing there stunned. Word of Denpa Lady's sudden appearance blew up all over social media overnight. Yuriko was overjoyed with all the online buzz. She had no clue the masked robbers swapped out their old masks. The gang headed back to rob the same convenience store once again. A random passerby doing a live stream happened to witness the heist. The bystander quickly pulled out their phone to broadcast the robbery live online. Once Tanzaburo and Yuriko caught wind of the live footage, they hurried straight to the crime scene in a rush. An argument broke out between the two shortly after arriving, right in the middle of their squabble. Every last one of the robber crew got knocked flying out of nowhere. Both rushed ahead to check what had caused the attack. They wound up face to face with actual real monsters instead. The fake monster robber burst into tears the second he saw real creatures. He'd been obsessed with monsters ever since childhood. That obsession was what drove him into a life of crime. He barely had time to celebrate his dream coming true. A genuine monster kicked him hard enough to slam him into the ceiling. Yuriko froze where she stood watching the scene unfold. Tanzaburo welled up with excited tears all over his face. His lifelong wish to meet a real monster had finally come true. He could no longer hold back his overwhelming excitement. He threw a powerful punch that forced the monster backward. The monster was utterly stunned by the strength behind that single hit. It immediately lashed out to counterattack. None of its strikes managed to hurt Tanzaburo whatsoever. In fact, the blows only got him hyped up for more fighting. Tanzaburo geared up to launch another assault soon after. Yuriko stepped in to hold him back from charging forward. She claimed the monster was her target to take down. She told Tanzaburo to stay out of her way. With that said, she charged straight toward the monstrous foe. She dodged the incoming strike and landed an upward kick to its head. Using the monster's own kicking momentum against it, she swept its legs out and dropped the creature to the ground. She followed up by slamming it down with a suplex. Not wanting to sit back and miss out on the action, Tanzaburo leaped in with a flying kick. Working together with their coordinated combo moves, they knocked the monster unconscious in no time flat. Just as the pair thought their ordeal was finally finished, a brand new monster popped up out of nowhere. It spat out a poisonous spike from its mouth. The projectile instantly melted the knocked out monster completely. Seeing what just happened, both fighters got ready to jump back into battle. To beat the record of 1,000 kisses, the man forced a kiss on someone to take their first kiss. He had no idea the person was actually another man. What's more, the man's fiancée was standing right there watching. Not long before this incident, Akane went ice skating with her friends. They accidentally left Ryoga behind when it was time to leave. He was stranded alone at the ski resort. Soon after, a strange woman took him away. Akane broke down in tears when she couldn't find Ryoga. She hurried to find Ranma. She begged Ranma to help look for Ryoga. Just then, she turned around. She saw Azusa walking in while holding Ryoga in her arms. Seeing her beloved pet being held by Azusa, Akane immediately stepped forward to take him back. But Azusa insisted. Finders keepers. She refused to give Ryoga back. While the two girls were arguing, Azusa's partner Mikado handed Ryoga over to Akane. This move made Azusa absolutely furious. She confronted Akane on the spot. She challenged Akane to an ice skating match. The winner would get to keep Ryoga. Akane had no reason to turn it down. Mikado took this chance to walk over and talk to Akane. He started hitting on her rudely. Ranma stepped in right away to stop him. Mikado took this as a deliberate provocation. He challenged Ranma and Akane to a 2-on-2 skating match. Ranma accepted the challenge readily. The truth was Ranma did not know how to ice skate at all, so Akane had to teach him the basics first. To save face, Ranma even transformed into a girl. While Ranma was practicing, Azusa suddenly showed up. She knocked Akane to the ground. Ranma was thrown flying as a result. Luckily, Mikado caught her just in time. Ranma was about to thank him, but Mikado insisted on giving her skating lessons out of the blue. He then took the chance to force a kiss on Ranma. Mikado was still basking in the moment. Meanwhile, Ranma ran to a hot spring and turned back into a boy. He returned to the ice rink shortly after.
この場で勝負しやがれ。てめえだけは生かしちゃおうかね。俺はな、生まれて初めて本気で怒った